What's up, everybody? A Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off this episode with the A-Type Alpha and Omega, which is a pretty interesting ship. I'm not entirely sure exactly what kind of combat potential or survival, but I don't know what kind of uses it would have in that regard. But in terms of design, it's really freaking cool because it's essentially a Corvette-size ship, but then the Omega is a little scouting smaller ship that docks into it, which is really, really cool idea, and I like how it still has form along with function in terms of it's a docking ship, but it actually looks cool in doing so. Oh, and other cool thing, I found the door! Look at that! Right off the bat. No door problems. I am also interested to see how the new doors affect builds, because there's a couple updates that some of you may or may not be aware of, that I was reading the patch notes earlier today. Well, technically yesterday. When I recorded this, I was reading them. And it talked about how there's the new doors, which, these, it's like you have to go through them right like this, and the new doors are a full block, basically. It's not like these half-block ones. They take up the whole square, and when you click on them, it's an animated, almost a fold-out door that they fold in, instead of going horizontally just in and out. It's hard to explain, but you can see it in the update video. And it allows you to basically go through the door like this. Like, you can go through them at any angle because it moves the door frame out of the way because it's taking up a whole block. It kind of turns into a hallway block with a door that folds out of the way, which is really cool. But for modding, I wonder what kind of doors and stuff people will come up with in that regard. So I'm looking forward to see that. Ooh, there's a turret up here I didn't see. There's a missile turret up here. That's cool. I almost jumped into a thruster. That would be detrimental. And there's a couple other things, like hydrogen thrusters are a thing now in the new update, which the devs even said that they've left it open to where... Ooh, this is cool. Sorry, I know my ADD's kicking in, but I'm trying to talk about updates while showing off this build at the same time. I like this kind of stuff. This is vanilla, I believe. I could be partially wrong about that, but I don't think there's any mods in this build. So stuff like this is pretty cool, where you get different angular shapes and things that still match with the design. But anyways, they left it open to where modders can add their own fuel types and things that run off of said fuel types and stuff, which that opens up a world of modding possibilities. So I'm very much looking forward to some of the new mods that are going to be showing up here, I'm sure, in the near future. Is this glass? This is glass. I'll admit, I got a little carried away talking, and I didn't quite remember how I got in here. This is actually a much bigger ship than I expected. Like, even though it's like a Corvette size or whatever, there's a lot of roomy interior. While this isn't a modded build... Okay, see, this is the hangar. Or docking bay, I should say. So this is really, really cool that you're using all these angular windows, so you keep enough room that the other ship can dock, but yet you're still able to, have that artsy design of being able to see what's going on and stuff. Like that. That's a cool way to hold a catwalk up. Haven't seen that before, that I can remember. Med bay in here. I started to say, although this is a modless build, I do think if you took just the body design of the ship, but then added mods on the interior, it could look really, really cool. Because you just get some of these spaces that are a little empty. Jump drive. So that's the only thing, is they're kind of a little bit empty, but they're roomy in that you have space to put other blocks and things that could make the build a little more lived-in feel, I guess. So that would be my only thing, is I would like to see a modded version of this, where the interior is a bit more fleshed out, but the overall space is very surprising. I did not know this ship was that big, actually. I was really thinking it was going to be a smaller, like, fighter, and you have... kind of like we've seen before with typical Corvette ships that are like, you know, the small enough that they're not like a big frigate, but at the same time they have enough room to, like, you know, a pilot or a small crew could live in said ship. That probably wraps around back down. But there's just a lot of, like, empty rooms. Ooh, there's a hangar there. This might be for, like, future drones or something. That would actually be a good spot for little mining drones, because that's about the size, like, remote-operated drones and stuff. That would be pretty cool. And I do, at some point, really want to get back into, I don't know what this room, maybe monitoring the turret control room. At some point when my personal life actually stops being so chaotic, I would like to actually get more, back into just playing the game for function. I've been playing it a lot for creativity, like the Inspiration series and my Let's Build, where I was building my Corvette that's kind of a take on a small Star Destroyer type size or design. But I'd like to actually take that ship and stuff and do something with it. Like, I've never even used the jump drives, I've never used the cryo chambers, you know, all the stuff that they've added that I really haven't done anything with because I haven't been playing it actively in a long time. I will admit this, if nothing else, even if my schedule and stuff still has yet to kind of calm down, I will be starting a new survival series, like a season 4, I think it would be, maybe season 5, whatever next season would be, of my survival Let's Play. But I will definitely be doing that when planets show up, because I want to play planets. That would be fun, and it would change the entire way you play the game. Okay, now I found the door really easily on the Alpha ship. How do I find the door on the Omega? Or is there? This might be just an enter the cockpit. No? Nope, there's a control. Alright, where's the hidden door? I'm actually, just because I do this all the time, I'm actually going to start a timer here, so bear with me. Oh! Hey, found it! Found it. I don't actually know how long that took me. It didn't take too long. I just decided to do that because, you know, I've always made the joke about finding doors, and even last episode I was like, I should rename the series of Space Engineers, Where's the Door? So, I thought that would be funny. I can't take full credit for that. I actually got that idea from Caden Red Pearl, and him and I were talking about my latest episode. So this actually has a missile launcher. That's interesting. I don't really know why it needed an extra thruster, but not an extra missile launcher. But whatever. I don't know if it's because it's built apparently out of heavy block or what, but it does feel a little bit slow on the acceleration. Not like the turning, but like the acceleration side of things. Okay, we want to turn the... Well, I think we want to turn the connector on. What are... Shut when docked. What is that? Oops. Okay. That's everything, apparently. Okay, so it definitely goes forward very fast because of those large thrusters, so that's something I'm trying to take into account. I don't want to just go screaming into the hangar. I also can't tell... another thing that would be cool is a docking camera. That would be useful for this kind of build. You could have it, like, right in front of the nose. Please don't break things, please don't break things. Alright. we hooked in, or what are we doing? We're not hooked in. There we go. We are now connected. We can turn this off. And everything's merged up. So that's pretty cool. I didn't really think of that. There may be a sensor in play for actually the docking procedures. Oh, this is cool. That's probably why the door is on the nose there, so that when you merge, it actually, like... Oh, wait, no, that's a conveyor. That's not a merger. Never mind. That is still pretty cool, though, even though this is exposed, that it kind of walks right into there. Okay, last thing. I know this... Ooh, haven't been here before. This looks like the cargo/engine room, perhaps? Interesting. Oh, there's also nowhere to go. So definitely took a wrong turn. I know this one got a little bit away from me as far as the time I usually spend on each build. This one's a little bit longer than normal. But, in a way, I was kind of trying to show off 2 ships, so, you know. But I want to see how this one flies, especially with the other one docked to it. But overall, the design is really cool, and I like the aesthetics are kind of the same on both ships, and they can dock together and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet. So there's a couple of these hangar airlock controls that I'm not really sure what they're for, to be honest. And there's the merge blocks and the connectors, obviously. It's not actually that sluggish of a ship or anything. The acceleration's a little low, but the turning is pretty good. Rocket launcher is not working. Interesting. So anyways, that is the Alpha and the Omega, so we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the... I'm not going to pronounce this right. It's a Vtol... There, you can read it for yourself, but I think it's Avialae dropship? I don't know. This is actually an interesting build to me because it's a collaboration between Tartarus Incorporated, which we've seen many a times on the Inspiration series, and Tumble TV, whom I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe is the mod maker of the Azimuth mods, which is really awesome. So this was a collaboration between the two of them, which was pretty interesting. It does say in the description, however, to stay away from the Vtol system that was put into play at the moment because an update that the developers did somehow messed with the rotor mechanics, and so whenever you do the Vtol, the rotors just break off, which is not cool. So whether that's been fixed or not already, I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it at the moment. If it has been fixed, then cool, but I didn't want to risk it. And you can see here kind of how the idea works is it's got a merge block here. These are the thrusters, and then once you're in the air, you can disengage that merge block. The rotor will rotate the thing to where it's horizontal, and then a new merge block will lock it into place. And then it's no longer Vtol, but forward thrusters, so that's pretty cool. I might mess with it in a second at the very end, because I do have a tendency to blow things up anyway. Let's check what these buttons do. Timer block passenger start. Okay, admittedly, I'm not really sure what that would do. Oh, maybe it disengages that pod there. I don't know. Let's get the thing in the air, and then we'll find out. This is kind of interesting, though. It definitely strikes me as something that should be used once the planets are in place. Or in place, I guess. So that you can... Because it doesn't really look like you'd want to be out in space with an open cockpit, but... we also have the scripts that monitor your status. Let's see, what does all this stuff do? Ooh, lots of LCD panels everywhere. There's buttons behind me. Whoop! Where'd I go? Let's see. Timer block landing gear. Timer block rear bottom open. Or button? I don't know what that is. Block rear open. Shutter side. So there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, apparently. What are you? Up here. Timer block, rear bottom open. Oh! That's interesting. Oh, dude, what block is that? It says armor ramp. But that's definitely some kind of, I don't know what mod that's from. That might be a Sheocore ramp, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty cool, though. So it's covering up the connector and conveyor blocks, which is interesting. Okay. So we know what that one does, and there's a button up here to do the same thing. So this is probably just all controls so that the pilot can do what it needs to do. Vtol activate, timer block piston, timer block rear button, or bottom, emergency beacon, blast shutter, front cargo, probably an open close. Why is there two? I don't know. Let's get in the air. We're not locked in anywhere. At least not like by the landing gears. So the Vtol works very well. These thrusters are very effective. I really do like this. I think it's Sheocore thrusters that did that. But they're really, really cool. Okay, so I want pistons, I think. Whoops! What the? That did not retract what I thought it would. Okay. Camera needs to stop glitching. So... oh, that's kind of cool. There's like panels that cover the merge block. But I thought that was the piston one. Huh, okay. Rear bottom open, emergency beacon. I figured there would be like a landing gear one. Wait a minute, there was a button on this panel back here that said landing gear. There we go. So that pulls up the landing gears. And what block is this? Heavy landing gear. That looks like the same set that did like the EM thrusters and stuff like that. That mod. Okay. Moment of truth. Let's do some dangerous stuff. Let's get dangerous. Okay. What does 6 do? It's supposed to do rear shutters or something. I hear him. Where are you? I hear you. I don't see you. I don't know where they are. I'm hearing them try and engage, but I can't see them anywhere. I don't know. I'm derping it up. Go me. Emergency beacon. Aha. Nope. Still can't find these. That's pretty cool. It shuts the beacon off and opens the panel. That's kind of cool. Okay. Now, there's two last things I want to risk doing. One is the Vtol, which, as the description implies, they just disengage and go flying off. So, don't do those. Don't use those. Confirmed. Confirmed here. Okay, and the last thing I want to see is this. Okay, so it does actually disengage the passenger, like, drop pod type thing. So let's try this. If we're disengaged, which I believe we are... Oops. I'm trying to see if I can get in the passenger seat. And if there's like a thruster thing, or if it's... I'm assuming this is designed for... Well, it has gravity on it. I don't know. I saw a thruster engage on here somewhere. So there's probably a seat you can use... Oh, here we go. Let's try the one with controls on it. There we go. And this even has the timer block disengage part. Nope. Still can't seem to get it to go anywhere. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I think the design is supposed to be that that disengages and there's like a couple little small thrusters or something somewhere. Yeah, here's some thrusters. Right there, right there, there. Yeah, so that should be flyable. I'm not quite sure why it's not getting away from the ship, but whatever. So anyways, that's that build, which is really cool. I like the overall aesthetic design as well. The way they did the thrusters and everything in the cockpit is awesome. Love it. Keep up the good work. So let's move on to the last one. Okay, and last but not least, we have the Leviathan. I believe this one was built by Jura 7, which has some very interesting and unique builds. This is 100% vanilla. It is a blueprint as well, at least the one that I found. One of the things that really drew me to this particular build is the aesthetic design and uniqueness, but maintaining it being vanilla, like these arches and stuff with the decorative, I don't know what that would be called, I guess like framing that wraps around the hull of the ship kind of thing, is kind of like a harness almost, and it has like little wings off the back and all this crazy stuff, but to think that it's actually vanilla and there aren't any random modded blocks and stuff, like the design back here, and it just had some really articulate designs in the architecture and stuff like that. And then when I saw that it was like straight vanilla, I was like, wow. And on top of that, the color palette and stuff, like they using the little blue lights to accent the white and stuff like that. Really cool idea. So it just had some really unique design ideas, like this kind of stuff where the little cutouts for thrusters and things were, that really just caught my eye. Doesn't really have a description, so as far as the purpose of the ship, not too sure. It's obviously some form of transport, since it has all these bays with connectors and stuff for smaller ships, like with welders and yada 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 yada. Have a hangar here, hangar B. This is hangar A. Cargo containers in the meantime, with some interior turrets to protect your stuff. This looks like the door controls, which is pretty cool. Conveyor system to keep everything all nice and connected. What is that? That either is a graphical glitch or they've changed some of the armor texture since last I saw them, perhaps, mayhaps, I don't know. Also, I haven't had the best of luck running the DirectX 11 version. Oh, here's the new doors that I earlier spoke of. Command bridge, reactor room, crew quarters. Same here, welder. So you get to see the new doors. Sweet! If you haven't already. So they take up a whole block, as I said before, but now because the doors get completely out of the way, you can actually go through it like an angle and stuff. Which I was like, that's awesome! And then of course it dawned on me of like, what are modders gonna do with this? Because modders tend to create like the craziest, most awesome stuff out of the base blocks anyway. So when the base blocks get better, you're just kind of like, well, this is gonna be cool. We've got batteries. Looks like an upgrade to an assembler or a refinery. I'm not quite sure which offhand. Got programmable blocks and timer blocks. The programmable blocks may be running, if they have any scripts running on the thing, but I think these look like static displays. Those don't look like they're using M-Masters or anything like that, and technically that would be considered a mod, and it said it was vanilla. I don't know. Maybe it is using it. Maybe scripts aren't considered mods per se. I don't really know, to be honest. So we've got some access hatchery, it looks like, up here for the oxygen and conveyor systems. That is kind of my only issue with vanilla builds. Not that people can't be creative. I think this is a good example of being creative with just vanilla blocks. But I do feel like interior designs end up lacking when you're dealing with vanilla, and not because of the builder. Like, for example, you've got rooms here that are empty that could have some really cool design, or functionality, or whatever, appearance. And when you see builders do ships like this, it's clear they know how to build and know how to make things look cool, but I kind of think that it's the vanilla blocks, that there are no real chairs or mess hall blocks, or, you know, things that you're typically used to seeing from mod blocks that kind of fill in the gap between vanilla and whatever. And I understand that, you know, Keen said before, their primary goal is to make Space Engineers a bit more realistic in terms of, oh, like this kind of stuff. Look at this. You got these cool archways and arches and just interior structural designs, which are really, really cool. And I saw them in the screenshots with the blue lights and stuff, and it looked really neat. So I wanted to show it off. But so yeah, that's one of those things that for me, I don't necessarily see that as a builder issue, as a game issue. That, like, if some of the modded blocks were to be incorporated into the vanilla game, I think a lot of other people that want to stay with vanilla and don't want to do mods, you'd see a lot more stylish interiors and fleshed out interior designs and stuff, because then they actually have blocks to work with, where some ships look like a friggin' cruise ship, and they have pool tables and mess halls and all this stuff, but it's because they don't mind using mods. And that's a to each their own thing. Some people don't mind it. I don't mind it. I've known a few people that were like, you know, I want to do it just with regular vanilla blocks. I don't want to use mods, and that's fine too. But I do think that some vanilla builds lack the interior flair that some modded ones have, just because of the blocks available. So anyways, now that my rant's over, we have turret controls, reactors, batteries, cameras, jump drives. It looks to be all the controls there are. Actually, for even naming it like the Leviathan, clearly it's designed to be a big ship, but it actually doesn't move too bad for like a frigate class type cruiser type thing. But I really did like the external and some of the structural designs. That's what really caught my eye with this one. Particularly this bridge area with its arches and curves and things like that. It was just very unique to me, and I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to show it off. So I did. Alright, so on that note, we're going to wrap things up for this episode. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace!